Aita for telling my daughter that life doesn't stop for others because hers isn't going well. Hi Reddit. I 52F. I'm kind of a mess right now, and I need some outside perspective because I'm starting to wonder if I screwed up big time with my daughter, 27F. This whole thing has been eating at me for almost 2 weeks, and I'm worried I might have said something that could really damage our relationship. I'll try to lay it all out, but fair warning, this might get long because there's a lot of context. I just want to make sure I'm being fair and giving you the full picture. For context, I have 3 kids. My daughter, let's call her Emily, 27F. My son, Jake, 30M. And my youngest daughter, Sarah, 24F. My husband, 53M. And I have been married for 32 years. And we've always tried to raise our kids to be independent and resilient. I'm not saying we're perfect parents. Far from it, but we've always been there for them, you know? Emily, though, has had a rough go of it, especially when it comes to her romantic life. I hate seeing her struggle, but it's been one thing after another. And I'm starting to feel like I'm running out of ways to support her without enabling her complaints. Ugh, I know that sounds harsh already, but bear with me. So, Emily's love life has been messy, to put it kindly. She's had a string of bad relationships since she was in her late teens. Her first serious boyfriend in college cheated on her with her roommate, which was a huge blow to her confidence. After that, she dated a guy who was super controlling, wouldn't let her go out with friends, always had to know where she was, that kind of thing. She broke it off after about a year, thank God, but it took a toll. Then there was another guy who seemed nice at first but ended up cheating on her too. I think she's been cheated on at least 3 times that I know of, which just breaks my heart. Now, she's in a relationship with this guy, let's call him Matt, 29M, and I'm pretty sure it's toxic. I don't have hard proof, but from what she's told me, he's dismissive, doesn't make time for her, and I've overheard them arguing on the phone a few times when she's been over at our house. She says stuff like, "I just wish he'd listen to me for once," and it sounds like she's always chasing after him emotionally. I've tried to gently bring it up like, "Hey, are you sure Matt's treating you the way you deserve?" But she gets defensive and shuts down, so I don't push too hard. Meanwhile, her siblings and cousins are all doing great in their personal lives, and I think that's been really hard for her. Jake's been married to his wife for 4 years, and they just had their first kid, my grandson, who's 6 months old. Sarah got married last year to her high school sweetheart, and they're saving up for a house. My sister, 50F, has 2 kids. My niece, 28F, and nephew, 26M, and they're both married too. My niece is pregnant with her 2nd kid, and my nephew and his wife just got back from this big anniversary trip to Europe. Basically, everyone in the family is all coupled up and happy, and Emily's kind of the odd one out. I hate even typing that because it sounds so mean, but it's the reality. She's not single, she's got Matt, but I think she feels alone, especially since he didn't come with her on this family trip I'm about to tell you about. Okay, so here's where the actual issue comes in. My sister's 50th birthday was a couple of weeks ago, and she and her husband planned this big family trip to celebrate. They rented out a few cabins at this lakeside resort a few hours from where we live. It was supposed to be a mix of family time and relaxation, with stuff like kayaking, bonfires, and just hanging out together. My sister's super generous and offered to help cover costs for anyone who needed it, but for the most part, everyone paid their own way. There were about 15 of us total. Me, my husband, our 3 kids, my sister's family, and a few other relatives. Emily was the only one who went without a partner. She was invited to bring a friend if she wanted, but she didn't. I asked her a few weeks before the trip, "Hey, do you want to invite someone? Maybe one of your friends from work?" And she just said, "No, it's fine, I'll go alone." I didn't think much of it at the time, but looking back, maybe I should have pressed a little more to see if she was okay. The trip itself was mostly great, but I could tell Emily wasn't having the best time. We did a lot of stuff as a big group, like group dinners and a hike one morning, but there were also times when people split off to do couple-y things. Like, Jake and his wife went on a little boat ride together one afternoon, and Sarah and her husband did this wine tasting thing nearby. My husband and I went for a walk by the lake one evening, just the 2 of us. Emily wasn't always alone during those times. She hung out with my sister's kids or played with my grandson, but I could tell she felt left out. There were a few moments where I noticed her kind of zoning out or looking upset, Like when everyone was laughing about some couple-related joke at dinner. I tried to check in with her like, "You okay, hon?" But she'd just nod and say, "Yeah, I'm fine." I didn't want to make a big deal out of it in front of everyone, so I let it go. One thing that really seemed to bother her was when people were openly affectionate with their partners. Like my nephew and his wife were holding hands or leaning on each other by the fire. And Sarah's husband gave her a quick kiss during a group photo. Nothing over the top, just normal couple stuff. But I could see Emily's face tighten up whenever it happened. I didn't say anything at the time because, well, what do you even say? Hey, everyone, stop being happy because Emily's upset? That's not fair to them, right? The trip was 4 days, and by the last day, Emily was barely talking to anyone. She'd answer if someone spoke to her, but she wasn't starting conversations or joining in on the group stuff anymore. On the drive home, she was dead silent in the back seat, just headphones on, staring out the window. I figured she was just tired, but when we got home, she unloaded on me. Like really unloaded. We were unpacking in the kitchen and out of nowhere she goes, "I hated that trip, Mom. It was awful." I was surprised because I thought we'd had a nice time overall, so I asked her what happened. She went off about how it felt like a cruel joke, that she was the only one there without a partner. She said it was humiliating to be paraded around as the single person while everyone else was rubbing their perfect lives in her face. She specifically called out the PDA, saying it was inconsiderate of everyone to be all lovey-dovey when they knew she was struggling. She said she felt like a third wheel the whole time and that nobody cared how hard it was for her to be there alone. I listened for a while, but I was kind of taken aback because this wasn't the first time she said stuff like this. She's been like this at other family events too. Christmas last year, Sarah's wedding, even smaller stuff like when we went to Jake's house for his birthday dinner a few months ago. It's always about how everyone else's happiness makes her feel worse about her own life. I tried to be understanding at first. I said something like, "I'm really sorry you felt that way, Em. I know it's hard to see everyone paired up, but nobody was trying to make you feel bad." She just got more upset and said, "That's the problem, nobody even thinks about me. You all just go on with your happy lives and expect me to deal with it." That's when I started crying, and I'll admit I was starting to lose my patience. I've been hearing this from her for years now, and it's exhausting. I know she's been through a lot, but it's like she expects the world to tiptoe around her feelings all the time. I love her so much, but I'm tired of feeling like her pain is everyone else's responsibility. So yeah, I snap. I didn't yell or anything, but I said, "Emily, I'm sorry you're going through a tough time, but life doesn't stop for other people just because yours isn't going well." I told her that she can't expect her siblings or cousins to hide their relationships or stop being happy just because she's unhappy. I might have said something like, "You're not the only one with feelings here, and it's not fair to make everyone else feel guilty for living their lives." I know that sounds harsh, and I was trying to be firm but kind, but it didn't come out as gentle as I'd hoped. She just stared at me for a second, teared up, and then walked out of the kitchen. She grabbed her stuff and left without saying another word. That was almost 2 weeks ago, and she hasn't talked to me since. I've texted her a few times, stuff like, "Hey, can we talk?" And "I'm sorry if I hurt you, let's work this out," but she hasn't responded. I called her once, and it went to voicemail. My husband thinks I was in the right, saying Emily needs to grow up and stop making her problems everyone else's. He's always been a bit tougher on the kids than I am though, so I'm not sure if he's just backing me up because he's my husband. Jake and Sarah don't know the full story. I haven't told them about the fight because I don't want to drag them into it, but when I mentioned to Sarah that Emily's been distant, she said, "Yeah, she's been kind of moody lately. Maybe it's her boyfriend." That made me wonder if there's more going on with Matt that Emily's not telling me about. I'm starting to feel really guilty though. Like, what if I was too harsh? Emily's clearly struggling and I'm her mom. I'm supposed to be her safe place, right? But at the same time, I'm so frustrated. I feel like I've been walking on eggshells around her for years, trying to support her through all these bad relationships, and it's never enough. I've suggested therapy a few times, but she always brushes it off, saying she's fine or doesn't need to pay someone to listen to her problems. I've even offered to pay for it, but she won't budge. I just don't know how to help her anymore without feeling like I'm enabling this cycle of self-pity. Oh, and I should mention, someone on the original post pointed out that Emily isn't technically single since she has Matt. That's true, but I don't think it changes much because he's not exactly a supportive partner. Also, someone asked if she could have brought a friend, and yeah, she was totally allowed to. I told her that before the trip, but she didn't want to. I don't know if she felt weird about bringing a friend to a family thing or what, but it was an option. So, Reddit aita for what I said to Emily. I'm worried I've pushed her away for good, but I also feel like I can't keep coddling her forever. I love her so much, and I hate that she's hurting, but I don't know how to balance being supportive with not letting her make her problems everyone else's. What do you think? Should I have handled this differently? And if you have any advice on how to fix this, I'm all ears because I'm kind of freaking out that I'm going to lose my daughter over this. Edit. Thanks for all the responses. I didn't expect so many. I'm reading through them and trying to process everything. A lot of you are saying I should reach out to Emily again, so I'm planning to do that soon. Maybe I'll give her a call or send a longer text to let her know I'm here when she's ready to talk. I'll keep you updated if anything happens. Edit 2. Just to clarify, Emily isn't single, she's dating Matt. I don't think he's good for her, but that's a separate issue. Also, yes, she was allowed to bring a friend on the trip, but she chose not to.